The next step is to start assembling our three objects. And to do that, I need a guideline inside this cylinder. So I need to go into the top view to see exactly where to place this line. So I'm going to Tile and go into the top view and notice that the cylinder isn't there. It is here in the isometric, but it's not here in the top view. And that's because I don't know exactly where this cylinder is in location to my other objects. And that's because I haven't particularly set an active depth for the isometric view. Let's go and find where that cylinder actually is in the top view. So let's fit the view. What I see is down here I have my two new extrusions, but up here I have the actual cylinder. Now again, this is because I've not set a specific active depth for the isometric view, whereas I had originally for the top view where I drew the two extrusions. So don't be surprised if you see this happening. So what I'm going to have to do then is to bring these two together. Let's do a move on that one and do this in the top view, of course. Let's put it there. And let's see where that is in the isometric view. It's still too far away, so let's move it again in this view. Move again. This time I'm going to play it safe and attach it to the corner of that extrusion. And now everything's in place. So a little bit of messing around, but I wanted to show you that so you understood how things can go a little awry if you're not very careful. So I'm going to change color right now. I need a line which is going to go from midpoint inside to midpoint inside. And that'll be that. Let's go and maximize that. Zoom in. So it's going from the midpoint of this to the midpoint of this. Let me change that to the selection arrow. I'm going to move this extrusion to fit on the end of this line and this extrusion to fit on this end of the line. That way I know exactly where I'm going. Now you don't normally need a line like this, but sometimes you do. Let's see what happens here. Now I've just moved that by hand and that's probably disappeared somewhere into the far distance, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to move that. And I need a precise point on the center of this back face. But that's not easy to do. So C at the keyboard, center snap. And I'm picking points here, but none of them are where I need them to be. So I have to do something else. I'm going to have to put a temporary construction line into place. And while I'm at it, I will do the same thing for the other one. Let's do the same thing. Let's stick a line across there. And now I can use those lines as snap points. So now again, we'll select this and move. And I'm moving from the center of that line to the end point of that one. Do the same with this. Select, move, midpoint to end point there. And we're done. Now that can go, and that can go, and that can go. And here's my new extrusion. Let's see if it looks okay. Let's shade it. Yep, looks fine. Let's try a rotate. Now this will be quite interesting. Let's see what happens. Yes, not too bad. And they are together because I initially snapped the cylinder to one of the extrusions. If I hadn't done that, heaven knows where these things would actually be in relation to each other. But you get the idea. Now we really should turn this into a group so that we can select the whole thing at once and we don't lose the parts. And in a later video, we'll look at actually turning these three components into a single solid. So please do this because I want you to keep this 3D shape for future use. It's quite a useful item to work with. Please make sure you complete that object before continuing with the next video.